Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
We got Bigfoot joining us tonight. Jay had to take a step out, and
Samuel.
big,
You can call me Samuel.
okay. Samuel is stepping in for tonight's stream because Sleepy Jay strikes again.
That's right. He's asleep.
Did you happen to kill him, or is he just sleeping?
There's no reason to get into semantics. What are we talking about tonight? My glasses, they're not fitting very well.
But tonight we're just doing kind of a goofy and not really goofy because we do like this stuff, but just kind of having fun. We're going into a little mainly about something that is from Jay's area, but he's not here right now. So, but his local Bigfoot can probably fill us in on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Samuel.
First off, I don't take cryptids as a joke. And I don't think anybody should. That's point number one. Because you said it's kind of funny, and I don't think it's funny. So, if that's going to be your position all night, this is going to be awkward. That's point number one.
Sorry.
Point number two, we're going to be talking about a lesser known cryptid, somebody who doesn't get a lot of love, but they deserve it. And that's the Frogman of Loveland. Have you heard of him?
Not until you spoke about it. No. And that's why I was going to do my own research. And I kind of held off because I wanted to hear about the first time on live.
Well, do I have a story for you? Not only is the Loveland Frogman, as you would say, ridiculous and funny, I also happen to believe he's immortal.
Immortal?
Immortal. He goes through time unchanged. Although some people do think he could just be an iguana or a giant salamander. But I don't think
giant salamander?
That's what they think, but I don't think so. Anyways, as we start going through this, we're going to start in chronological order. Hello, Gravedigger. I prefer Bigfoot. That is actually my favorite monster truck.
Oh, hell. Oh, Big Gravedigger was my favorite.
No, Bigfoot's my favorite. Just a large lizard, incorrect. Frogman of Loveland, Ohio was not just a large lizard, as I will definitively prove throughout this. Anyways, getting into the first event. This happened in 1955. Just coincidentally, less than 10 years after the aliens were removed from Roswell and taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Less than an hour away.
I do like that.
Conspiracy. The legend of the Loveland Frogman is one of Ohio's most enduring.
Wait. I don't want to cut you off because we do have two. And the reason right now we have two is because for editing afterwards, one we can edit and the other one we can't. So I think we're on, or I think everyone should go to the landscape one. Or the first link. It was the first for me, so you guys can see each other and talk with us and each other too. But yeah, sorry to cut you off, Samuel. Keep going.
I have no clue what all this is about. I'm just here to talk about the frog. Anyways, the Loveland Frogman. He is one of the most enduring cryptid tales in Ohio, but he doesn't get much love, and he often gets made fun of, which is unfortunate. It is reported to be a frogman, or a lizard man, possibly a reptilian. In any case, it's a 3-foot tall humanoid frog-like creature lurking at night. It was first sighted in 1955 by a traveling businessman in Loveland, Ohio, along the royal banks of the Little Miami River. Miami, Ohio, not Florida. That would be the skunk ape. In
Close
fact,
relative of you.
No, actually, we don't claim them. I'm actually
sorry.
kind of upset you said, never mind. I'll just keep going. In fact, his account described 3 short bipedal humanoids with frog-like heads, bulging eyes, bulbous eyes, and lizard-like skin. Legend has it that he even reported seeing one of them wielding a glowing rod. Also, this is a little unknown fact. It was reported in one of the reports from this incident that it was a wizard staff that he had.
Not only are they frogmen, they're wizard frogmen.
That is the theory. My theory,
That's
however,
terrifying.
Is that perhaps this could have been a glowing rod. Someone in 1955 might not know what to make of a floating glowing rod. And could that potentially be a case for UFOs? I don't know. History would spark one of Ohio's most enduring legends, but folklore of this bizarre creature grew legs. In 1972, 2 police officers in separate incidences, so 2 different incidences in 1972, were said to have reported seeing something very unusual lurking on the banks of the Little Miami River. One officer said that when he approached what he thought was an injured animal on the side of the road, it stood upright on 2 legs, gazed his way, and leaped the guardrail into the river. The officer report stated the creature had rough, bumpy skin and frog-like facial features. I found this one interesting because he says frog-like. He doesn't say it's a big frog. He says frog-like.
What's up, Gravedigger? Yeah, I don't know if you're.
Now, let me pose a question. Let me pose a question to you.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry, I'm trying to. I think people are in multiple chats again. I didn't mean to cut you off, Samuel. I am sorry.
Jesus, you asked for an expert to be here, and you just.
I'm sorry. I was trying to set it up, but for everyone who can see each other's chat, can you tell if you're in the landscape or the short, the short version for like shorts? But yeah, because I don't know if Gravedigger is. Hello, Gravedigger. We hear you. We see you. But okay, go ahead, Samuel. I'm sorry.
Unreal.
I know Quex and Amelie are in landscape. Yeah, and I think Gravedigger and Amal Madadi is in
It sounded like
portrait.
witchcraft.
Yeah. So switch over to the landscape view and you'll see the other people in the chat. But otherwise you're just gonna see yourself. Go ahead, Samuel. Sorry.
Anyways. This is a 1955, 1972. There wasn't very many UFO sightings around this time. You look at a gray alien, you could make an argument that they have frog-like features.
Go ahead. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the chat so you can keep. Samuel, you need to get on par with the 21st century, okay? I know you've been living in the woods, but come on.
This is ridiculous.
All
I'm
right,
coming
start
on
over.
here as a guest.
I know, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to deal with things. And
you're up here flipping your phone around doing magic rituals. I'm trying to explain to you how this frogman might be an alien.
Yes, continue. Also, okay. Shelly, we're on landscape, not portrait. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the last time I come on this show.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to handle things. All right. I don't mean to be rude.
You've been nothing but rude this whole time. Oh, it's a myth. It's a myth. I'm right here. You want to say it's a myth? Fuck that guy.
That's Samuel.
Who is that?
That's a guy named. You have to fly over to across the pond to see him, but
that's fine. I got boys over there too.
I heard he likes Sasquatch peeing as well. But let's keep going. Go ahead. The alien connection. That's what I want to get into.
All right. Well, I'm trying to get into it, but you got people saying stupid, crazy stuff to me. You know that? Anyways, what I was saying is if you look at a gray alien, could you not say it has frog-like features?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, for sure. The skin and the eyes, the bulbous eyes. Yeah.
Right. That's all I'm saying is we see this term frogman and we think, everybody makes fun of him. That's what they always do. They make fun of him because they get a funny name, the frogman. But we don't really know what these people saw. It just had frog-like features. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No. And that's where you can get into the confusion of it all. And someone sees something scurry across the road in the dark. And we know people from Ohio. We know you guys are a little weird. And instead of saying that's an alien, they go, oh, damn, I saw a frog down in the holler, Jeb.
Well, how many people in the 1950s saw aliens? They had no frame of reference for it.
Yes. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah, so it's not an Ohio thing.
There's
probably a frogman in other states. God damn.
But
okay.
Let's go.
Go ahead. Well, no. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No. Well, I was just agreeing with the fact that the timeline matches up, right? What was it, 50, 55? There was the alien boom, but then there was supposedly this landing and they were supposedly shipped up there. Like, yeah, one got out and just went running through the woods. And someone said,
get into it a little later. We'll get into it a little later, but this isn't an isolated incident. But anyway,
okay.
Let's move on. This dives a little bit more into the second case. So late one night, March 1972, Ray Shockey spotted something moving on the road. He stopped his car, and when his headlights illuminated the street, he allegedly observed a monstrous creature. Now, I don't know about anybody out there, but I would not consider a frog to be monstrous. According to Skeptoid, I don't know what the hell that is. Probably not a reputable source, but anyways. Shockey claimed the monster crouched like a frog, had leathery skin, and must have weighed between 50 and 75 pounds. The creature then purportedly stood up on its hind leg and stared directly at Shockey before climbing over the guardrail and vanishing into the river. And here's where it gets into how it could have been a hoax. David Shockey reported the sighting to his fellow police officers. According to legend, some of his colleagues found scratch mark on Shockey's car and abrasions on the guardrail. So he was attacked by this amphibian. Someone said it was a schizophrenic person. That is possible, but I don't know schizophrenic people who hop like frogs. Although if anybody was to do it, it would be a schizophrenic person. Anyways, however, no evidence has ever surfaced to support this. Naturally, I don't believe him, said fellow Loveland police officer Mark Matthews. What a scumbag.
What an asshole, dude. Yeah, Jesus.
Mark Matthews is the worst type of friend. But I could somehow tell from his demeanor that he did see something. What? So you don't believe him, but you can tell he saw something.
He saw something, but that guy's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
That's some shit that Jay guy would do.
Late one night, Matthews reportedly spotted a bizarre creature on the road. This is the guy who was just talking shit, by the way, not knowing what it was. He shot it. At the time of the sighting, his description seemed to match Shocky's, a 3 to 4 foot long lizard-like creature. These reports fed rumors of frogman cryptids for decades. However, in 2016, Matthews came forward to confess that the story was a hoax and that his report had been blown out of proportion as the story was retold over time. He now claims that the creature he had seen was an iguana without a tail, probably somebody's lost or abandoned pet. Matthews was just trying to take our boy Shocky's spotlight. That's what happened. He was
throwing him under the bus.
Not only that, he was so sick of Shocky. Everybody was talking about Shocky. Oh, Shocky this, Shocky that. Shocky saw the frogman. Shocky saw a frogman. And he didn't believe it. So he was like, why is this guy top dog now? Why is he top dog? So tell me if I'm crazy for this, but is it out of the realm of possibility that this guy who's condescending says, oh, Shocky's an idiot? I think he saw something, but he's an idiot. Is it out of the realm of possibility that this hater went out there, bought an iguana, shot it, said for years it was a frogman, and then on his deathbed he goes, I shot an iguana. I went and bought an iguana.
Yeah. That is very well a possibility. Jealousy makes people do crazy things. It's just like, you know, you and the Yeti. You're jealous of the Yeti. It's fine. The Yeti is your bigger, stronger, you know, cousin. But of course, I get it.
Who told you that?
Oh, that's just what I've been told, man. I can't.
What's a Bradley Martin?
Bradley Martin? Who's that?
I don't know.
No, his name's Samuel, not Bradley Martin.
Yes, I'm Samuel. You think Yetis are bigger than Bigfoot than Sasquatch?
Listen, we don't need to get into it. Clearly, this is a touchy subject. We will have you back for the Bigfoot episode, okay? Or, you know, someone.
I don't know if I want to be here. I don't know if I want to be here. If I'm just going to be.
Then we'll get Yeti. Then we'll get the Yeti here. It's fine.
He's definitely not coming. Can you speak Mandarin, idiot? You think he speaks English?
Google Translate. We got it.
Better. Bigger is not always better.
No,
bigger is not always better.
Queck said better. I said bigger. He said better.
He's not better. What's he better at? Hiding?
Yeah.
Only cowards hide. Are we just going to keep doing this all night, or can we move on a little bit?
Let's move on. I'm sorry. Let's move on.
Fuck, man. Bring me on here on a guest, and I got this guy. He's just talking about how bigger is better. Yet he's not even bigger than me. You ain't ever fucking seen one. There ain't no Yetis in England. Fuck. How the fuck would you know?
Yeah, that Quex guy can be a handful sometimes. But anyways, let's keep going. Let's stop arguing over it.
This shit's making my fucking head hurt, dude.
Let's not piss off our guests, all right?
Been dealing with this shit since I came on. Anyways, this is a picture of the Frogman. For all you haters out there, all you fucking Michaels or Mickeys or whatever his name was, all you haters out there. This is a picture of the Frogman. This was taken in 2016. This is a well-known case. Okay? The man who shot and killed a mysterious and legendary creature called the Loveland Frogman in 1972 says that's impossible. Of course. Well, it turns out he was a fucking liar. But anyway, some kids playing Pokemon Go took the smartphone bearing world by storm in July 2016. This is pretty recent, 10 years ago. The augmented reality game had people out in the streets and quickly became the focus of news stories and think pieces, spawning hoaxes and fake news stories, as well as real ones. The game also indirectly resurrected and inadvertently debunked an old urban legend. It didn't debunk shit. In 1955, a business, we don't need to go back into this story. We already covered it. Who the fuck wrote this? All right.
Damn.
In August 2016, a couple playing Pokemon Go claimed they too had seen the elusive Loveland Frogman. It's fucking hot in this house, dude. This guy keeps his house so warm. I'm not made for this. Anyways, Jacobs. That's the guy. He said, we saw a huge frog near the water. Not in the game Pokemon Go. I don't think they needed to fucking specify that. This was an actual giant frog. They took a couple pictures and videos because I'd never seen one that big. He had never seen one that big. Of course you haven't. Then the thing stood up and walked on its hind legs. Jacobs went on to say he realizes some people think he's crazy. I don't think you are. I swear on my grandmother's grave, that is the truth. That is what people telling the truth always say. Anytime anybody has ever sweared on their grandmother's grave, they are telling the truth. I'm not sure whether it was a frogman or just a giant frog. Either way, I've never seen anything like it. Now, we can look at the picture. What do you think of this picture?
Is that in the water? So
yes,
it looks like it's in the water. That's a big fucking frog, irregardless, because it's pixelated, it's zoomed in. If you're that close to something and making it look big like a regular, I don't know, man. It could go either way, but I mean, I have seen frog eyes in the water, and given the right circumstances, given everything, they can look bigger. They can, like, you get the orbs, especially if you're looking through a camera. It's not the eye size, because your cameras, especially on cell phones, is adjusting for the darkness, right? Well, then their eyes reflect and pick up the reflection, and it comes as big orbs, and it would look like that on the, but you can see kind of the body. And that doesn't fully look like a frog body, with how the head's so upright compared to the body. You know, like a frog's kind of streamlined, right? Like their head doesn't sit up. Yeah. No. That's what I'll say. And why don't you, Samuel, take a break and go wake up Jay? No. Okay. You were saying it was hot in his house. I figured you wanted to go back to your cave and in your, you know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Also, I'll play devil's advocate here a little bit. That kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle.
It does, but it also kind of looks like a Bulbasaur, like the chat was saying.
Well, isn't Bulbasaur a fucking turtle?
Yeah.
Exactly. It looks like a fucking ninja. That's what I said.
Well, yeah. True. Sorry.
Let me pull up the next thing. We actually have a video. I found the video from that encounter. The video, however, is nowhere near as good as quality as the picture. So just throw that out there.
Hazel, I wanted to touch on this later too, and we'll get into it. Is that one of the things I had pulled up? Do I still have it? Was things that were in a long time ago were considered like cryptids or these mystical beasts, and we didn't have evidence of them. And then, you know, especially in the early 1900s, when exploration in late 1800s, when all this was going on, they found these things and were like, well, this is actually this lizard, this is actually this or whatever, and there's scientific evidence of this. So that answers what one culture was saying was a dragon, was a Komodo dragon. You know what I mean? So yeah. Go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the theories around the Frogman sightings was that it was a giant salamander. There's one problem with that theory, however. In Ohio, there is no giant salamander.
Okay. I was going to, have you seen a giant salamander?
Yes, they're
Those
absolutely
things
disgusting.
They're
disgusting. They need to
Can
be
you eat 'em?
crushed with they need to be crushed with hammers, in my humble opinion.
You need a big hammer, dude.
Yeah, they're disgusting, slimy, repulsive, just like Frogman, with all due respect. Anyways, let's watch this video. Not the best video, but you can see the eye shine here. Hopefully this isn't loud for you guys. I'll turn it down just a little bit, or we're going to play this. Not very long, only 12 seconds, but this is Jacobs recorded this. He also snapped a few pictures. The Frogman did stick around a little bit for him to see him and get photographed. Not camera shy. Huh. And that's it. What'd you think? You're muted.
I don't know. Did I click it? To me, I mean, I guess frogs kind of are, but that eye line to me was like this. Like when you look at it turning, or it looked like the eye line was very, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to everyone? And I guess
Yeah,
frogs kind of are like that when I think of it.
I agree. The
But
one thing that stood out to me was the reflection of the eye shine off the wall.
and that's where you could get into the hoax side, because I am no photography expert, but usually the eye shine from the IR, from whatever, from the camera, right? That doesn't really reflect. I could be wrong. Someone who knows photography could probably correct me if I am wrong. But that clearly seemed like green lights above the water, so it was reflecting off the water.
That's what I thought too. So I think that
that's
it could be. Unfortunately, those Pokemon goers, they could have been a hoax.
Yep. They were trying to
I
get
mean,
people
you
to
will have.
follow their Pokemon Go account so they could get good trades, you know? It's all about the trades.
Did you ever play Pokemon Go? I always wanted
Yes.
to, but I never did.
Hell yes, I still do.
What?
Not like, yeah, occasionally I'll open it up. Like one of my friends is you know, he is a politician too, so it kind of explains it all. Is like you putting in his in, Samuel? Is like master trainer. Like he's played it for years and years and years and years. So
I didn't know it was still a thing. What's the best Pokemon you ever caught? I never played.
not that great. I have a few hundreds. I have a few shinies. I don't think I have 100 shiny. Yeah, I probably have to log
Okay.
back in, but yeah.
Oh,
I
and
think I have
this
what? Go ahead.
no, I can't even have vices. I can't. This is crazy, dude. Anyways,
Jigglypuff is one of my favorite Pokemon. OP as hell. Jigglypuff is.
You look like a Jigglypuff. And I wanted to share this video, and I want to be completely serious when I share this. This upsets me because somebody did see what they thought was a frogman. Whether you guys out there believe it was a frogman or not, somebody did. and it scared them. And these news anchors are about to come on here and just make fun of them and laugh at them and ridicule them. And I don't think this is okay.
Was first spotted in the 1950s. He kind of looks like this from reports.
It doesn't look anything like that, you goofy
Excuse
bitch.
me. Excuse me. I didn't mean to burp in everyone's ear, but is it kind of weird that she kind of looks like a frog and maybe she's making fun of it because she's one of them? Just
oh my
saying.
God.
Just saying.
Dude, you could be onto something. You could be onto something because this goofy bitch laughed way too hard. Like, oh, this pissed me off. Anyways, let's keep watching it. Look how big she has, frog eyes. Oh my God, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. She's got frog. What does race has anything to do with it?
Watch this video closely. I'm pretty sure she licks a fly out of the sky.
Spooky sightings to tall tales, the 4-foot creature has become a huge part of the town's identity. Take a look.
He's our local legend, kind of compared to Bigfoot.
Excuse me?
You were just defending him in the beginning of the show that he deserves more credit in that, so.
He deserves more credit, but he doesn't. Listen, you don't compare a bench rider to LeBron James, all right?
Okay,
Much
sorry.
speculation surrounds Loveland's most famous resident.
I describe him as about
Kind of fucking jacked. See those
Ripped.
ab muscles?
Yeah.
a tall frog standing
Oh,
on
that's
2
disgusting.
Feet, kind of hunched over. Most of the reports, he's got a stick or a rod of some sort, meaning like
A
spar.
rod.
There-
I love the use of rod, a glowing rod.
There it is
What?
again, dude. The reference to
Gandalf.
a wizard staff, or some type of glowing rod technology.
Oh hell yeah, that's right. I
Flames,
forgot.
all that,
Hellboy's
just
Brian Maxon
homie.
is Loveland Frogman
Exactly.
aficionado. He says stories of sightings have been written since the 1950s, but the legend could have been long before then.
The most popular sightings were 2 different police officers here in Loveland in the 1970s who on 2 different occasions saw the Loveland Frogman. And they saw him down on River Road down there close to the water, which makes sense, And as they approached him, he jumped the first one. He jumped the rail and got away.
But the plot thickens.
The second police officer that saw it, his story is pretty great. His claim is he saw it, didn't know what it was, so he shot at it, and then the thing got away. And then he reported later, yeah, I saw it. I think it was an iguana missing a tail.
By later, he means 4 fucking decades.
The good old days. I saw it. It looked weird, so I shot at it. Good old Ohio.
Glad those days are gone.
As a story from the 2010s claims, the Loveland Frogman was seen during a game of Pokemon Go. Though he says this photo from the so-called sighting, claiming to be of the Frogman, is clearly a hoax. Real or not, the Loveland Frogman...
It's a good hoax if it's a hoax, because you see the reflection of it in the water and everything. Like, it had to be a costume, right?
Yeah,
this is before AI and everything.
of course. And that's when hoaxes and everything took effort. Hoaxes nowadays is AI, Photoshop. It's lazy. Like, I want the
Doesn't
people
take any
out there
effort.
walking around in a Bigfoot costume again and possibly getting shot at. Where's that?
Yeah, where's the Robert Giblins of the world who make their own Bigfoot suit and fool everybody for years? Anyways, let's keep watching.
Frogman has become a town legend.
You may get to spot him if you hang out here long enough.
So Frogman exists.
Absolutely, yeah.
True story or just a myth? I'll leave that up for you to decide. In love.
Oh my God, there he is. How hilarious. I hate these news anchors. I hate these people. They are the worst of the worst. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting really hot in this house. I'm going to go wake him up. So you're going to have to take over for a
Yeah, go wake him up. So,
yeah.
we hope to have Samuel back, or one of his inbred cousins, but someday soon we will have him back. You guys got to be nicer to him, okay? He's a little sensitive, but hopefully. Oh, he woke up. Jay's here now. Okay, Jay's here now, guys.
All right,
So,
it's me.
Especially everyone now, be careful because Jay's more sensitive than Samuel. So, but yeah, sorry.
Okay. I'm fine. I just got woken up by a fucking Sasquatch.
Imagine that. I would not be fine. You'd see me run through that wall. Yes, I would run through the wall.
No, you wouldn't. That's impossible. I'm not going over with this with you again. That's not possible.
Mhm.
All right, let me kind of pick up where Sammy left off.
Oh, you know him like that. Oh, he's got a pet name for
Yeah.
him, guys. He calls him Sammy.
I
Sammy.
I hope they didn't fucking treat him like they're treating me. I sweat when I sleep.
Jay's a lot like Ty when he talks about Bigfoot. He's got a little pet name for a Bigfoot with a big old honking dong. So I mean,
that's what he told me to call him,
folks.
That's what he told me to call him. All right.
Is that how he woke you? Is that how he woke you up?
No, he shook me violently, actually.
Yeah, with his dong. Just went
No.
flop. Wake up.
No, they're very modest creatures.
We got them figured out, folks. We figured out Jay.
Anyways, this is not the only place or even the only country where frogmen have been described. Did you know that? Bet you didn't.
That I want to hear further.
Yeah. So when everybody says these are crazy hillbillies from Ohio, you're wrong. So this article that I'm about to share, what was that? I don't do that to you.
I mean, crazy hillbillies from Ohio.
I don't. Okay.
I'm not saying you're one. I'm just saying there's
I'll
plenty.
just fucking go get Samuel back. If you're gonna do this shit. But anyways, this
Cryptid
is
sexual. That's what Jay and Ty are. They're cryptid
unreal,
sexuals.
dude. I'm not gonna put up with this shit. I'm not gonna put up with it. But this is an article. This is actually from the 1930s, from Estonia. Listen to this shit, dude. Coming apparently from Swedish ufologist Sven Schallen, some 30 years after it allegedly occurred, a reported incident in Jumandy, Estonia, in fall 1938 or 39, not sure, at a date and an hour that are not specified. Two Estonians, not more identified than that, had seen a frogman. They chased it approximately 30 meters to apparently lose sight of it behind some lattice close to a path. The size of the entity was around 1.6 meters, so 3 feet, similar to what was said in Loveland. Its legs were slightly longer than a half of its body. Its head was hemispherical and directly on the body, without neck, and the body had a bump on its chest. Its skin resembled brown-green synthetic leather. That's kind of an interesting point. Its mouth was a straight slit prolonged on a large part of its head, and the eyes were also like slits. The hands were of human color. Its walk had been described as quite weird, a little bit odd. It raised its leg in a cautious but gracious manner, as if our gravity were too weak. The head waving up and down, which makes us think of a waiter when it was pursued. It accelerated enormously, like propelled by a terrible fluttering of its feet. So again, this is from 1938. It wasn't reported until 69. But this was reported by ufologists. And they're I imagine there wasn't many ufologists prior to the Roswell, especially not in Estonia.
Yeah, not a chance.
Yeah. But I mean, this is interesting because it's the same thing described here. The only thing that kind of throws me off is the hands were of human color. Kind of like it could have been somebody in a suit, but at the same time, we're talking 1938 Estonia. How many people had access to a fucking giant frog suit?
Especially out there, you're getting shot. I mean, even in America back then, you're getting like, even in today, like if you do that shit on my property, and you're doing some wild shit, and I can get into that. Let's get into that. Sorry, I will shoot you. I want to get into that. I was El Paso. I was in El Paso at the time, which is for the military. And it was when that clown shit was going on. Do you remember the clown stuff?
Oh, yeah, dude.
That people were showing up. Yeah. So I'm at the house and I had a different dog at the time, Maverick. He was awesome, an Australian Shepherd. And like 10 minutes earlier, I had put him out in the backyard. And he was one of those ones too. He would bark sometimes, but wasn't like a high strung. He starts barking. And I'm like, what? And you know, I don't think anything of it. And I go to like the sliding door. It was like a split level house. So there was like the kind of 3 levels, but it's only a 2-story house. Does that make sense? Do you know what split levels are?
Shelley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Later. And so I go to the back and open the blinds, and there's a dude standing in my backyard like this shit.
Oh no, yeah, he's getting blasted.
And I don't know. And so like I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm yelling through the sliding door glass. I know he can hear me. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And he just keeps standing there. He thinks it's funny. So my BB gun was upstairs. And I run upstairs. I'm like, do not go near the windows. I'm going upstairs. And like in the back of that house, like the master bedroom had like a little tiny, you could barely fit 2 people out there, like a little balcony type thing. And I go out there with like, cause I'm not, this dude's in the backyard or woman with a knife in his hand. And I go out with the gun, light and laser on, and I point it on, and he tries to play tough for a second. I'm like, hey, leave. And then he fucking got out of there. And I was like, nope, no, man, I'm not playing with that bullshit.
No, dude. Did he have a weapon or anything?
Yes. I don't know if it was real or not, but he had, it could have been a costume knife. But do you think I'm sitting there in that moment looking at it and going, oh, yeah, that's just a plastic knife? No, I saw that shit. And I started, like I said, yelling through the sliding door. I wasn't going to open it. I was like, get the fuck up, because my voice travels. I know he could hear me.
Yeah, you got a loud voice.
Yeah.
I want you to put yourself back in that moment. How startled were you when you first get up?
I was scared. I'm not going to lie, dude. Like
I would have been too.
I'm a big guy. Like when it comes hand to hand, but I know never fight someone with a knife hand to hand. You're probably going to fucking lose.
No, dude. No way.
You're going to
I'd rather get shot than stabbed.
Like people think that they can be great fighters. It's so easy for someone you try to punch them, they hit your arm. So when I saw that, because he was never that loud, I looked out there and I saw it. I was like, oh shit. And even though that stuff was just starting and going on, that didn't go in my head.
Right.
And I get goosebumps now talking about it. Like it scared me, dude. And I just thought my first thing was like, get out. I started yelling and he didn't move. He stood there and listen, it was probably a joke trying to scare people. He stood there just like that in the whole garb, the whole, the suit and the mask. So I was like, fuck it. I ran upstairs, got my gun, went out on the balcony, and I'm telling you, it was loaded and everything. I turned on the light and laser. It was a light laser combo and pointed at him. I was like, get the fuck out. Or something, I don't remember exactly. I was in the moment. Like I was scared.
Oh.
I said, get the fuck out or fucking
Is there any
leave.
chance it could have been somebody you knew fucking with you?
It could have been, but the outcome's still the same. I pointed a loaded weapon at them.
Yeah. But you think if it was somebody you knew, they would have been like, hey, it's me. Like they wouldn't have took it that far. Like they wouldn't have stayed in character.
It was probably someone fucking around because it was El Paso. So like how a lot of those neighborhoods worked, it's in the desert or, you know, plateau desert, and like houses are backed up against houses or with like rock walls. So it's all very close. So someone could like hop until they find someone to fuck with and have no problem doing it. So it's very well just some kid fucking around seeing. But like in Texas, you really think that's the best place to do something like that?
Fuck no,
Like,
dude.
Come on, man.
You gotta be a real idiot to trespass, go into somebody's backyard with a weapon. Like you're just asking to get shot. Like you had restraint there. I think.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Because
somebody,
I don't.
Well, that and you're trained with a gun. Like you put two shots to him, he's dead. Most people who just buy a gun for home defense, they're blasting.
Yep.
They're blasting.
100%. Or fat ass cop.
Yeah.
An untrained
cop. Yeah.
I know we have female people who are here, but I don't like to say that. But in some circumstances, you know, 120-pound female cop. That female cop who shot that Jewish rabbi outside of the Pornhub. Yeah, but that shit, when you look at the full situation,
that shit was crazy.
When you look at like dudes were hiding behind planters and getting run up on, like when you look at the full, okay, like take all that bullshit out. And that's just what, you know, it goes into another thing we say. That's not this episode, but it goes into that of highlighting something of a woman and a police officer getting shot at by an assault rifle when she or he has a fucking handgun and is hiding, and someone runs up. That's his fault. Like
that's his fault.
Keep your ass inside and stay down.
I don't care about the female cop. Why is the rabbi there? What are you doing, brother? What are you doing? What are you doing there?
Yeah.
There's enough bad publicity as it is. You're hanging out there.
Just happens to come out he didn't come out of Pornhub, but you know, just happens to be hanging out there. Hey.
Yeah, maybe you don't be in the vicinity. But anyways, let's keep going on because I have another foreign case of frogman sightings, and this one gets a little wild. So this is from the UFO feed. They just collect a bunch of different cases. This is by Preston Dennett, Extraterrestrial and Humanoid Encounters. They are perhaps the most interesting aspect of ufology and have so much to teach us about the alien agenda. This video presents 10 accounts from across the planet. We're not going to watch the video. I just want to read this one part. They are human-looking figures, short dwarves, frog-like creatures, which is what we want to find. So let me get to... Okay, here it is. So this is from the 70s, 1975. I believe that was the same year as no, that was 1972. Anyways, on the night of November 17th, 1975, two college students, David Vardman, this is from France, I believe, and Susan Ehrenberger, watched a brilliant light descend to the ground near this is from fucking Iowa. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The name should have gave it away. I'm a dumbass. Suzanne was amazed to see a metallic craft with two humanoids inside a transparent dome. But strangely, David did not remember seeing any craft or humanoids. All he recalls is that they were both frightened enough to flee the area and call the police. Unknown to them, another witness in the area reported seeing strange craft. And then we get into the frog one. I apologize for just having to listen to me read that one. 50 frog-like ETs. 50.
I'm freaking out.
Yeah. At 9 p.m. on May 2nd, 1976, Dominique, was driving near Maton, France. Okay, so I did have France right. When reflections off the side of the road caught his eye. To his shock, he saw about 50 green-skinned, 4-foot-tall, frog-like humanoids standing motionless in the field. Terrified, he pulled a U-turn and fled the area. That is the most rational thing you should do. That's exactly what every human being should do. But not before he saw one of the humanoids standing only a few feet away from his car. That is terrifying. You're muted, brother.
50 of them? Yeah. No shot. I'm
Just
53 foot tall. Yeah, no. I'm driving. I'm not stopping till I'm not nothing. I'm saying if hold on, we're going. Again, goosebumps. That's one of those things that no, man, I'm not messing around. I'm not the white guy in the scary movie. I'm the dude who's going, nope, we're fucking leaving. We're done. This is it. We're that's go.
yeah, let's get the hell out of here. But I mean, so that's 2 cases from outside of the country. Yeah, that's all you can do, Quex, when there's fucking 50 of those things. But does that, in your mind, add any truth to the Frogman?
Well, yes, and that's one of the things I was looking into and trying to find because, but like one historical, like I get a lot of this comes from historical content, like myths of old. But that's what led me to a lot of the things that I had pulled up. Like one of them is the Komodo dragon, the coelacanth, the giant squid, okapi, which is from Africa, which was was that the unicorn or whatever, the platypus, and these different animals that were cryptids really until we started expanding. By we, I don't mean to say this in any other way, but white Westerners started expanding and documenting this stuff. And they were like, wait, this isn't a cryptid. This is an actual fucking animal.
Right.
So fast forward to where we are today. I really believe there are these animals and species out there that are for the most part extinct, but could be in these areas and show up and just, I mean, look at the 7-year cicada. Could be buried in the mud for 7 years and pop out and people see them and then they're gone.
That's a good point. And like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff about people who thought like that was like omens and shit, like this thing pops up every 7 years. I think that's a good point. But yeah, but then also, does that not kind of lead into some of that shit being true? Like, I don't want to get into like crazy land here, but we've talked about it. And we've talked about it before with the ancients. Like, they were drawing what they saw. Like, they have a buffalo and they have a yak or whatever, and then they have a unicorn. Why do we assume the unicorn was the myth?
And that's what exactly that. I think that is the strongest defense when it comes to ufology, UAPs, these cryptids, or extinct animals, and some of it could be just extinct animals, right? Like, but you would think there's a fossilized record of them, but even still, what if back then they were so far and few between to find, especially when you go into animals and territories and stuff, to find fossils of something that's territorial, that only links up to mate, something along that lines that is so far and few between, even back in that time, that like finding a fossil that is a needle in a haystack. You just happen to come across fossilized records of it. So I think it really does kind of back up all of this. That, like you said, these cave paintings, all this stuff is, for the most part, they were simpler. Their brain didn't work like us. What they drew is what they saw.
I think the same thing. I think, that kind of leads into, I have some Sasquatch here on me. that kind of leads into like the ancient astronaut theory and all that type of stuff, because there was all types of the ancient astronaut drawings and these giants. You know, we had the episode on giants and stuff. I think that might have been the one I was late to. I don't remember, but like they drew all this stuff, and we just write it off as folklore or myth. Or what about the Egyptians, dude, and all those crazy gods with the dog heads and like alligator heads and all this shit? What if that was just something they saw, whether it was like somebody fucking with the DNA or something?
And I think I did send it on our WhatsApp. You know, our internal one is that it goes in. I don't want to go to, we say it enough, but the soft disclosure, and it goes into movies saying this shit. And when you start looking into this shit and you see some lines, and of course, yeah, sure, easy enough that they could, director, actor, writer could be into the same shit we're into and say, let's do this. Okay, got it. But
yeah,
what
but
if
when
it's more
Steven,
than that?
sorry, but when Steven
Go ahead.
Spielberg comes out and he's giving interviews and he's saying, this is a lot like what Disclosure is going to be like and shit like that. And then when he's making shit that's oddly right on the nose with what these ufologists are coming out and saying, like, I think it plays pretty well into your theory of soft disclosure.
Yep. And I think that's what it's always been. And that's why I think you see, and again, it's pattern recognition. You go back and look at, excuse me, sorry, when these alien movies, when all this stuff started to happen, sure, something in real life, but like, where did the idea come from? Like, yeah, they're out of space, and like to be so quickly into this kind of nuance, these finer details of things, and then be putting them out there on movies.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I do agree with what Queck said. He's being used to desensitize people. I have a question for you though, and the chat, you guys can answer this too. What's one cryptid you completely write off? Like, there's no way this is real. You're muted.
I said I like that one. Why do I keep muting myself? It's a habit. Sorry, I stream too, guys. I like that question. Like, we all have the one that's just like, you know, but that also takes a lot of the bullshit ones I write off. And because
right, but what is one? Like
what is one? I'll go into a popular one of the most popular ones in the world that I think is I can write. I feel like I write off, and everyone's heard of it. It's the Loch Ness Monster.
You write off the Loch Ness Monster, dude?
Yep. Out of all the big ones, that's the one I write off.
Okay. Are you just talking about that specific, like Lake Loch or whatever it is, like that specific area?
Yes. Yeah. I think there has been serious efforts to find this thing. Lake Loch isn't 1,000 feet deep. It's not the Mariana Trench. It's not this vast, like, if something's there. But then here you can argue with me because how I feel about Bigfoot, that it could be transdimensional. It could be, what if the Loch Ness Monster is the same thing?
Or what if it just doesn't need to surface that often and there's caves and stuff down there? I think if I remember right, I watched a documentary and they were talking about, like, they think there's underwater caverns and stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Still, it needs to come out and feed. An animal of that size needs a substantial amount of food, and in its cave, there's not that much food.
How do you know how deep it is?
And the Lake Loch is not. I just know it's not 1,000 feet deep.
Look it up. Look it up. Somebody look it up.
Yeah, fact check me.
I bet you it's 1,100 feet deep. I bet you.
How deep is Lake Loch in Scotland?
It's in Scotland?
Yeah, isn't Loch in Scotland?
I have no clue where it's at. If it's in Scotland, it's definitely true. Because what reason do those people have to lie? But if you're saying to Lake Lock specifically, I can get behind that a little bit more. But like when you just take the whole ocean in, there's got to be weird shit in the ocean.
190 meters.
That's like 3,000 feet, dude. You're way off.
That's
way
like
off, brother.
That's like 900, not 900 even, not
No,
900
it's like
times
300.
2.4, right? 2.4.
Like 300. It's like 300, a little over.
It's over 300. It's like 400. Wait, what annoyed you? It's Loch Ness. I said Loch Ness. Like what?
I think that's the name of the lake. It's not Lake Loch.
Oh, it's Loch Ness. Oh,
yeah,
so
I said
sorry.
that, but I said that.
Don't piss off the Irish lady.
All right,
We all
somebody.
know that.
Quex, what people in the chat, what's one you don't buy? I'm gonna pull up the one I don't buy.
How deep is Loch Ness? $745 feet deep.
That's
ain't
deep,
no
dude.
way. Ain't no
That's
way
deep.
a giant fucking dinosaur is hiding
Says
there.
Says you, the guy who said Lake. Oh my
that
gosh,
was you.
dude. What an
But keep
idiot.
going. Listen, how far are we? 1 hour.
An hour.
I made it in an hour.
All right, you need to hurry up because I'm going to show mine.
Yeah, go. You guys here.
No, you need to see it, jackass. Jesus, what a goober this guy is. I'm not pulling it up till he gets back. Well, there's got to be one, Quex. There's got to be one where you're like, this is just, it's too out there. It's too out there. Even if it's like the one I'm about to show is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. We're going to wait for Mr. fucking Pissy Bladder, Mr. Little Girl Bladder to get back. Frogman. Great answer. Great answer. Because I didn't just provide irrefutable proof that he was real. You just said that to piss me and Samuel off. That's why you said that. Ridiculous. I knew somebody was going to say that shit. I knew somebody was going to say Frogman's not real because it's from Ohio.
I was listening to all that. Yeah, amen, Quex. Amen.
Mothman?
I'm here.
You don't believe in Mothman, Shelly? Dude, there's so much evidence for Mothman.
But if I go into
I'm
lesser, I will say it's the zombies of Massachusetts. That's it.
That's a good one, dude. You know, zombies is one of those things, though, when you talk about subliminal messaging, there's an awful lot for it. Could there be something behind zombies? I don't know. Anyways, before we dive into zombies, because we're about to get off on a tangent, I can already tell with Mothman and zombies, I want to show mine. I learned about this when I was in Colorado. This is the Colorado mountain whale. Allegedly, in the Rocky Mountains, there is a whale that has giant teeth, and it just slides down the mountains and eats people. Resembling a whale with a large head and small beady eyes. There's nothing worse than beady eyes, in my opinion. I don't trust beady eyes. Piss me off. Colorado's slide rock bolter. That is the name, not the mountain whale. The slide rock bolter possesses a clawed tail fluke, which it uses to hang on tops of mountains. It's an ambush predator. So they have the whole, but they have it all down for this thing. It's an ambush predator. It will hang there until a victim passes by lower down the mountain. When this occurs, the bolter releases its grip on the mountain and begins its descent down the slope, assisted by the lubrication provided by its dripping saliva. The bolter will scoop up its target on the way down the hill, then continue its slide right up the next mountain where it slaps its tail over the top and once again takes up its vigil. The bolter is said to prey exclusively on tourists. Exclusively. And whole parties of sightseers who have been said to have fallen victim to their depredations. One story tells of a Colorado park ranger who decided to kill a bolter who was attacking groups of people in his area. The ranger constructed a dummy Taurus, complete with plaid jacket, safari shorts, and a Colorado guidebook, just so he knew it was a Taurus, which he filled with gunpowder and blasting caps. The dummy managed to attract the attention of the bolter, which attempted to eat it, setting the explosives off in the process. The resulting mess was reported to have fed the vultures all throughout the summer. That story is pretty detailed, though.
Yeah, but we've seen what Tolkien can do.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of backpedaling on it not being real.
Get out of here. That one wins. I believe zombies over a whale that latches onto mountains, just holding there and just waits for you. A giant fucking whale. And he goes, okay, unlatch. And just fucking eat. No. There would be so much evidence of that.
But it uses its saliva to slide down the mountain. Like, that makes sense because it wouldn't slide very far. But if it uses its saliva, it can zoom down. Like, it moves shoo quick, you know?
No.
And how do we know there's not a whale that's also an amphibian? Like, it can just come out of water every once.
They're mammals, but still, it's just there'd be too much evidence. The slimy shoots would be there.
I don't know, dude. The Rocky Mountains are a big place. The Rocky Mountains are a big place.
No,
That's mine. That's
that
mine.
one wins. That one wins. Quick said.
I can't. What?
Sorry, I don't want to burp in your guys' ear. I had an episode there. No one else? We have 8 viewers. Don't be afraid to talk.
I can't believe Shelly said Mothman.
Yeah, Mothman's wild.
Mothman's crazy.
Mothman's wild. That's wild.
Another Ohio resident. Mothman is. Got his start across the lake, but he migrated here. A lot of people don't know that, but he's an immigrant. Mothman is actually an immigrant. So if you are anti-immigration, well, not going to work very good with cryptids because they tend to be interstate creatures. A lot of people don't know that. Something to think about. Are we going to apply immigration to cryptids? I don't know.
I'll apply it to your belief on aliens. Segregation. Sorry.
No, not for all of them. Not for all of them.
Not for Samuel. Not for some of them. Like, some of them I'd like to meet and sit down and talk to. Like Samuel, like, all right, can you latch into my mind and we can talk and you can be like, hey man, listen, this is this. All right, cool. But some of them, yeah, no. Keep your ass over there. No, nope.
I agree.
The Shelleys, the little Irish ones, yeah. You gotta.
Those are leprechauns. That's a different thing.
Shit! I forgot.
He just called leprechauns goblins. Get out of here, you little freaks!
Goblins.
All right, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Move on? Okay. So I wanted to dive in.
Sorry. There you go. Take a read. We're not going there, Quex. We're not going.
We do have goblins. The author of Harry Potter actually got in big trouble for that. But anyways,
well, moving on.
I wanted to hold on. Hazel said, when we do a hike, one of the tour guides said plants in the mountains are used to be coral reefs with all the Pangea theory. So it could be like a Japanese folktale of the Komanu, like they're guarding.
I get that. So there's a book that's good to read, Hazel. I don't know if you have. Most people haven't, but it's of fairies and fawns, something like that. I'll look it up, and it's pretty eye-opening. So it's written long time ago by a priest, priest who I need to read it again, but like went out into the wilderness and went out to live with these pretty much people that was their way of life. And Solo, it's good.
Solo. Sorry, I apologize.
Appreciate you, Solo. No, she just let me know who it is. Like, but so it's a crazy book. Again, this is a man of faith. He was a priest, if I'm not mistaken, and went out there and writes this whole book of how there's like fawns and fairies and these things that protect like the earth, and it goes into that whole side of things. And I have to look it up. I have it, but I have to look it up. It's good. It's good. It'll have you being like, oh. And that kind of like I can believe in when it goes into cryptids and that side of thing, that there's these ancient beings that go back to, as I've said before, you'd have to go way back, but like vegetable body. Like we were once all connected. We were once, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words right now. Sorry, but yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Okay. Shelly said you stole that book suggestion from her.
Did you really?
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to start diving into the Area 51 because Loveland is about an hour. Loveland is a suburb of Cincinnati. Those people don't know. It's about an hour from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. For those who don't know the lore of Area 51, and there is some evidence of this, I actually just watched an episode of the Danny Jones podcast, and he had a guy on there who went from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to work at Area 51. So there is some evidence that the wreckage from Area 51 was transported to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And I do have one video clip I'll show of a woman who is talking about this. But that's kind of why I brought up the whole thing is, could this just be people, like we said, saying what they saw? Like they had no reference for what an alien was. On the counterpoint of that, though, could this also been, people, this was 8 years after Roswell. Could this people just been, freaked out with all the alien talking, like, fuck, there's an alien. In reality, it's just some weird reflection from their car light. But anyways, I have a few UFO reports from around the area around this time. And there's a bunch. I just picked the few that you can read because a lot of these older ones from Project Blue Book, you can't really read. They're all so faded, they're hard to read. So this is just a few out of a bunch. Anyways, this first one I thought was interesting. So this is Lieutenant Colonel C.W. Thomas and Lieutenant Sims. They were making a regular cross-country flight. They reported into the Columbus Airways, who asked them if they saw any unusual objects in the sky. They said they could see a large bright light off to the west. They estimated it to be below them, or about 3,000 feet. It seemed stationary. The light was amber and looked like a large star or planet. It was about 15 miles away from them. The night was dark and overcast. I thought this was interesting for a few reasons. Number one, all the stuff we're seeing nowadays is about orbs. Number two, the thing that kind of threw me off and made me wonder, is this just us testing something? Is it says that they were asked if they saw anything unusual. Like that kind of threw me off. Like, why would the Columbus Airway be asking, hey, did you see anything unusual? Like that kind of made me a little suspicious. You're muted again.
Why am I muting my... Sorry, it's a second. That's that like directed questioning and like guiding. Like, did you...
Yeah.
Did you really see this? Or could it have been this? Or... And it's a common tactic. And it's a common tactic used in law and in courts and in prosecution, is like kind of guiding you. And that's a whole nother talk, is like guiding people to say they're guilty when they're not, but you get that guilty charge, so it makes you look bit better.
Yeah.
Like, no, man.
One thing I was thinking was, and it wasn't mentioned in the report, is I wonder if the Columbus Airways could have seen something on radar and could have been asking them about it, but it doesn't say that in the report. So that's why, like, I'm just speculating. Because I could see that being a possibility as why they would ask. Hey, did you see something just still up there? Like, but it doesn't say that, so I don't know. Anyways,
no, exactly. It goes into that. There's a tactic used, and there's a whether they're trying to get information from you when it actually pertains to actually trying to figure something out, or it's trying to get you to talk yourself into a corner. And that's why I don't like debate culture, because there's these questions that pop up that there's no right answer.
No, and it's set up questions, right? Like it's
exactly
questions to, and a lot of times we've talked about it before, we don't need to get into it, but they're doing these call-in debates where they have just Joe Schmo calling in, not an expert. Like, it's not on him to defend the position. Granted, he should know better than to call in, but
plus it's targeting the people that don't know enough. So someone who knows enough says, well, that's a targeted question. I know you can't I know he can't answer that properly. Erase that from the docket. Like, that's a bullshit question. But so many people don't know enough to understand that, right?
Hey,
like,
what's
to
up,
understand,
Kinsley?
Hey, Kinsley, what's good? And that's really who it targets. It's not the person they're debating. It's the person who doesn't fully understand and just wants to listen to the guy be right. That they can't decipher that, well, that's a targeted question. There's a no right answer to that question. So that, just erase that. Take that out of this whole thing. You're being stupid. But I mean, they know what they're doing. They're good at it. They're not targeting the guy. They know they can take advantage of the guy they're debating. They're targeting you as the person and saying you're simple-minded enough to take his answer, even though no matter what he can answer, it's always going to be wrong. And you say, oh, yep, see, he's wrong. He's an idiot. But yeah. Anyways, let's keep going.
All right, so this next one, this is a 1973 case from Dayton. Dayton is where Wright-Patterson is. So it's a kind of like a culmination of stuff, but it says Dayton, Ohio, at least 15 sightings of unidentified. This is a UFO wave from 1970. At least 15 sightings of unidentified flying objects covered with red, green, and blue lights zooming about at treetop level were reported in southwestern Ohio Wednesday night. The UFOs sighted in the Dayton, Cincinnati area were all classified unofficial by Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Officials, none were detected on radar because they apparently were flying too low. The first sighting was reported shortly after 8 p.m. by a New Lebanon Township officer. He didn't want to say he saw it, but he said it. Okay. The officer said it was oblong and covered with lights. It appeared stationary in the sky about treetop level for several minutes until he tried to shine his cruiser spotlight on it. It then zoomed toward him and then shot straight up in the air after he turned out his light and disappeared. Sullivan said the UFO sighting lasted a fleeting moment to 12 minutes. Well, that's an incredible range. They would be behind the trees and come up and fly away as if you startled it or something. No balloon, helicopter, or kite can move that fast or has that many lights attached or can go so quickly in a straight up direction. A spokesman at Wright-Patterson, whose UFO center was discontinued several years ago, said there would be no attempt to investigate the sightings unless there was an imminent danger. Sullivan said his officers certainly can't chase them. So I thought that was an interesting article.
And that's when you go into the lore of it and you go into the Area 51, like you said, and Wright-Patterson and the whole nine. And that's why when you brought up the Frogman and brought up that argument, because I was in the dark about, I didn't know Frogman But then when you started making that connection, it's kind of like, holy shit. And that was cool to me. That's why I didn't want to look it up. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
it very well could be Frogman is a gray. Is just a gray running
Makes sense
around.
to me, dude. Makes sense to
That's
me.
what I'm saying. And that's where it all like was to me, that it's just this gray alien out there that escaped
Yeah.
Wright Patterson and is running around. And yeah.
Which it's not like the government would come on the news and be like, listen, one of them got out. He fucking escaped. They're not going to tell us. They're just going to let the crazy thing run around. What's crazy, Quex? Crazy says, you know what's crazy. He's about to say something. Bonkers. While you're doing that, I'm going to pull this up. This is another case. This one's interesting because it had a shit ton. Oh, he's calling you out. He's calling you out.
I mean, it goes into the same. It's the same argument I've had the whole time, though. The same thing that people don't understand, and it's called God, and it's called Jesus, and it's called all this, and it's just a fucking alien.
Oh, you don't know that.
I don't. But I don't know this either. And
sure you
can
do.
see you can see the similarities.
Frogman and Mothman are hard situations. I don't know. I don't know. I think Frogman's real. All right, well, let's get into this. By the way, if you go to the Internet Archive, they have a whole bunch of these documented cases. Granted, a lot of them you're not able to read them. But this one is kind of going over. This was 1947, August 11th. I'm not sure the exact date of Roswell. I don't know if this was prior to or after. I'm not sure the exact date. But anyways, this is an interesting one. So it says from the first sighting in southern hemisphere, 180 degrees to out of sight northern hemisphere, 360 degrees. It was 3 minutes. It says this was observed by 2 softball teams, myself, whoever the hell that is, and about 25 spectators. 9 aircraft ground instructors, verified backgrounds, 9 pilot aircraft and engine students, 25 spectators, variable backgrounds. Like, I don't know what none of that shit means. It says number of objects, either 7 or 9. Don't recall at this time. Sky conditions, it was cobalt blue, no clouds, so clear day. Dimensions, shape, and color, disc, size of a grape, black one side and white or reflected lights on the other side. Speed very fast, guessed at 1,000 miles an hour, or as can be figured from the time and distance given. Altitude 25 to 30,000 feet. Now, I don't know.
Up there.
I don't know much about aviation history, but did we have anything that could go 1,000 miles an hour in 1947? Like that's over
no.
Mach 1.
1947, no. But who's to say? And we've talked about this, that they were testing shit they pulled, and they did have it, and throttled technology and all this shit that it goes down that route. So yeah, who's to say? And who's to say the shit we have now isn't so bonkers and out of our mind, a blue beam type stuff. They're so concentrated on hypersonic missiles and all this and that, and then they have something beyond that where they can just have a bunch of psychers sitting there and transport a nuclear bomb into your base and detonate it. Like,
maybe they can, dude. Maybe they can. I'm thinking it's a spy drone. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because I have this book. Of course, I don't have it here, but it's called CIA: The Cult of Intelligence. And in that book, they talk about using a drone in 1963.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, like what the fuck are we talking about? A drone in 1963? Yeah, they were talking about using a drone. Crazy shit. But it goes into Operation.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it goes into Operation Northwoods. And if you read into Operation Northwood, it was the plan to fly a remote controlled plane into Cuba in hopes they would shoot it down, or we just shoot it down. And then we have a pretense to invade Cuba. So have we had drone technology for fucking that long?
Well, that's what I was going to go into. And even before this, like when we go into early technology, right? You look at one of the things that they were testing and it worked was guided bombs. And do you know how they guided bombs these tests were done? I'm sure you do. You can recall, especially when I say it. But for chat, a pigeon trained to sit inside a missile or a bomb, and it's trained to peck on like a ship. So you have this rough thing, like you initially you kind of got to point this bomb in the direction when you're at a high altitude or whatever, and the pigeon is trained to peck at a picture of a ship. So now this bomb is falling, and it's a free fall bomb, but like with fins, you can kind of guide it. Well, this pigeon is trained to peck at the picture of the ship, the ship being the boat. And so it's pecking and adjusting this missile. There's videos of this. There you go. Yep. Project Pigeon. Watch this shit. And you'll be like, yeah, go.
First unmanned was 1849. What are you talking about? A blimp? How did they do that? Anyways, let's watch this real quick.
Attempt to create pigeon-guided missiles during World War II headed by the American behavioralist B.F. Skinner using operant conditioning. The pigeons were put into...
You got to be a real fucking nut job. A real fucking nut job to be like, guys, we've been thinking about this shit all wrong. What we need is pigeons. That's how we're going to guide these.
See,
torpedoes.
Mike Tyson was on to something all along.
Yes, dude. Mike Tyson was trying to make bombs. Domestic terror threat. Mike Tyson. A lot of people don't know about that.
Apartments and trained to recognize and peck designated targets on a screen in front of them for treats. The pecks would alter the missile's course, thus directing it towards the target, such as a warship. Initial skepticism led to a tiny $25,000 budget, but Skinner proved in tests that it worked, even with a rapid pace and warlike noises as environmental variables. However, Skinner was unable to get the project to be taken seriously, and on October the 8th of 1944, the project was cancelled because the U.S. military sought different avenues and believed the project...
They never used it. You said they used it.
Oh, no, I said they were developing it. Did I say they did the test? I'm sorry. No. Yeah, maybe I did say they used it.
You were manipulating us. You were manipulating us.
Dude, I was recalling an old video. Give me a break.
Oh, God, man. What are you going to do with people? Anyway, that guy's a fucking nut job. He should have been fired. They spent $25,000 seeing if pigeons could guide bombs.
They could, though.
Clearly not that good.
They said under rapid pace with noises, these pigeons were doing it, but there's too many people that don't think outside of the box and said, nah, this is crazy. This dude was forward thinking. As crazy as he was, they could probably have sunk the Yamamoto with that. All right.
No, he's not. He's
There's
some
a callback.
psycho who has a problem.
That.
There's a psycho who has a problem with fucking pigeons. He's like, how can I solve two problems at once?
He proved it worked.
Not good enough. Not fucking good enough. I don't know why they gave him 25 grand. That's how you can tell.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell
feeding his pigeons and training them with it.
Yeah. If they're willing to spend 25 grand on the pigeon guy, imagine what they're spending on the UFO guys.
Little do you know that guy was funded and now works for Mossad.
All right. See you later, Quex.
Adios, amigo.
Yeah, Kinsley, animals were on Earth before us. They definitely were. I think in all accounts they were. But pigeons aren't going to be around very long if we let this fucking nut job keep killing them to guide missiles. He's going to kill all the pigeons.
Nah, the pigeons are fine.
Anyways, let's
go ahead.
Let's move on. I have another case here. This is of the Squiggly. A lot of people don't know about the Squiggly. You know, it's funny you say that, Quex. I'll try to remember to put the link in the Discord. But that guy who was on Danny Jones, he's an ex-CIA guy. He was one of the older guys who, when Obama came out and officially said Area 51 was real, his generation of people who worked there got flown in and were officially like told, this is declassified. You can actually tell your wives about. And he goes into that. They had a project, and it's crazy the way he describes it. They had a project. They made fake birds in the 60s, and they were using, it was a big ass bird though. It wasn't a pigeon. It was a big ass bird, and he said they used chainsaw engines. That's what he says. But anyways, let's dive into the Squiggly. Oh, so this is.
You pulled it down. Oh, you put it back up. Okay.
Yeah, it's up. Oh, I don't believe it's a joke, Quex. I believe that shit's 100% real. There's been projects since then too, but that's the word. Marine Lieutenant Colonel Marion M. Black Mac. That could be okay. Used to describe the alien that he saw at Wright Field in Ohio. Wright Field is what Wright-Patterson used to be called. Squiggly, he told his son Mike as he lay near death in 1997. Again, this is one of those deathbed confessions. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I shouldn't, but I always tend to believe deathbed confessions.
Yeah, like what the fuck are they going to do to me? I'm dead.
Yeah, they're not going to get anything out of it. Responding to questions of his granddaughter, Natalie, had asked her father to ask him. It was the final description Magruder would give about the almost human-like creature he had seen only once, but whose story would haunt him for the rest of his life. He has told his sons and his granddaughter on more than one occasion, it was alive, but we killed it. So this is him during Okinawa. Let me scroll down here and get to the alien part of this. I apologize, guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So as Mark Magruder recounts, his father told him that he and the rest of his class were told that the military wanted his feedback, his thinking on a decision they had to make. It was strategic decision in the area of military and political planning. Basically, the higher-ups in the military were looking for guidance on critical decisions they had to make. By the way, look at this patch, Black Max Killers, and it's a devil with a flashlight and a revolver. Kind of odd. The issue confronting the military was whether to disclose to the public that they had not only retrieved a UFO from the New Mexico desert, but they had also brought debris back to Wright Field and had recovered a living extraterrestrial. With a cloud of uncertainty hanging over the military, they were about to make a monumentous decision to expose a group of officers to the glimpse of another world. The Air War College students were led into a room where they were told about the crash outside of Roswell, New Mexico earlier that same month. And they were shown debris from the crash. They were also brought into firsthand contact with one of the craft's inhabitants, the only one alive after the crash. Magruder described the being in specific detail to his sons, but kept repeating that the being seemed squiggly to him, a remark that he repeated as he lay dying 40 years later. He said the creature was not like aliens you see depicted on television, except for the large head. Actually, instead of gray color, the being had a flesh tone, and it resembled a human being more than anything else. That's interesting. sentence right there. It had a large head. It had large eyes, larger than usual. And it had only a slit for the mouth and hardly any nose. In fact, my father said it didn't really have a nose the way human beings have noses. The creature was human-like, yet despite its humanoid appearance, it was clearly, my father said, not from this planet. It was not like any human being he had seen. Magruder seemed also impressed with the way the alien moved and the disproportionate length of its limbs. It was small, he said, like a child, but not like a child because of its large head and long arms. It was 5 feet tall or smaller, a little creature, but it did not look like a small adult. It was clearly something different. He also remembered that it was wearing a coverall that reminded him of a flight jumpsuit. He could not tell what the material was composed of. Magruder never claimed that the creature communicated with him, nor did he ever talk about whether the entity communicated with any other member of the Air War College class. However, as he told his children years later, he seemed to empathize with the creature. He made this statement on more than one occasion. It was alive and we killed it. He also said repeatedly over the years, it was a shameful thing that the military destroyed this creature by conducting tests on it. Magruder saw other items from the crash as well. He said that this group was shown photographs of the craft and that it was more like a disc than a crescent or a triangle. He said he also saw some of the crash debris and remembered that certain beams had something inscribed on them, but he was never told what the writing meant or whether it was translated into English. The material he saw and the entity he encountered at Wright Field promoted Magruder over the years to repeat to his sons, Roswell did happen. It was no myth or fairy tale. It was no weather balloon either. So I thought that was a pretty interesting account from that guy. If you're talking, you're muted again.
Why am I muting my mic for no reason? I'm sorry. I'm just used to it if because of burping and stuff.
But there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. Like when you first read it, why would they be showing it to the guys at the Air War College? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't. But at the same time, why would this dude say this on his deathbed?
Well, at the same time, you think
alive.
like the landscape of everything in the public, like maybe at that time they were thinking about going public. They were thinking about this stuff and they were thinking about like, well, this is going to be the way of life. So
and they needed to get the reaction of that younger generation.
Yeah, let's see how you guys react. And it's one of those things where they can still say, you know, this never fucking happened. And we always, when we're talking about this from the outside, we always tend to forget that there's a lot of pressure the government and entities can put on you. You're not going to say this. We know your social. We know your whole family. We know your whole bloodline. Listen, man, you're not going to fucking say anything.
No.
And when that is put in front of you, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, dude, he goes into them killing it. Like, and that goes back to that new Stephen King movie. What's it all about? It's all about how we treated the aliens. Like, I don't know. I have my own theories about that movie and some of the messaging in it, but like when I read these accounts, and it's not the first one, there is a lot of these Roswell accounts that say the same thing. There were 3 of these beings in there. One of them died, or 2 of them died. They kept one. It died later. In some accounts like this one, it was killed. And we'll get into this a little bit further with this interview with this woman who worked at Wright-Patterson. She worked at when it was Wright Field. So she's there the same time this guy is. Oh, 100%. Yeah, Shelly. Like Matt said, you know, you don't really have an option at the end of the day. Like your options are keep your mouth shut and take this money, or we're just going to shoot you. But anyways, this is June Crane, and this is a recording of her. It's made long after she worked there, but this is her kind of telling of what she encountered at Wright Field. I'm starting pretty far into it because a lot of this was the presenter talking about it before they actually start playing her clips. So that's why I'm starting here.
Life, that adds a lot of credibility.
And what would be the most important information directly related to Roswell, Wright-Patterson, bodies, UFOs that you heard that night?
Well, she told me that by the time she left Wright-Patterson for the last time in 1952, she said that they were investigating at least 3 crashes of alien vehicles and that there was possibly a 4th. And she did not give me exact locations other than to say that Roswell was one of those. And then there was also an incident where she stated that she had coffee with a man who said that he had just flown from New Mexico and brought in bodies.
Now, that is one of the audio excerpts that we have, and I'm going to play it right here.
The sergeant, his first name's Clarence, Master Sergeant. I still can't remember that man's last name.
Okay.
But he was in charge of that airplane. And when he came there...
Okay.
I think that's an important point. If you're going to lie, you're going to make up a last name. Like, I think that point adds a little credibility to it.
Airplane.
Well, it was a regular transport.
Transport, a military transport.
Yeah.
And what was it that he said?
Came in from New Mexico. He said, what I brought in this morning. And he said that he brought 2 little men in. And he called them little green men. Then he described them as a greenish blue. And they were 4 foot tall. And they were dead.
We're talking about non-humans.
Non-humans, right.
Did he say anything else about them?
No, not really.
Were there like maybe other ladies there and he's sort of like showing off or telling? No, he wasn't showing off.
No. These guys don't show off.
This is a serious man.
When I'm saying engineers are sort of wacky, there's one thing they're not. It's not a wackiness like you'd think of just being acting like a fool. It's just, it's hard to explain. But they're very serious. They don't tell lies. They don't have jokes. They don't do anything like that. And so when they say something, you don't lie.
Was this Master Sergeant breaking security by talking about this?
No, because we were all secure. See, when you have security like that, you can't even take your husband to a party. If we had our Christmas party, we went and there was guard at the door. And nobody but the people in the branch are the only ones. You can bring your husband and your wife. And when you're at home, you can't talk about your job because you got that.
I think that's another interesting point. You know, she's talking about, this is the early days of this shit, dude. Like, you're talking right after Roswell, and everybody just has the same security clearances at this point. There is no, you know, we hear about these rumored security clearances above top secret, whether I'm not sure if there's any hard evidence as those are real. But that's what she's saying is like everybody had the same security clearance. So they were just all talking about this shit. Like they didn't have control of the information at this point.
They didn't, but they did. Like there was no security clearance at the same time, but they all understood. And that's, you know, I don't want to say anything more than someone I know is in a situation that in certain aspects falls under that thing, and they can't tell anyone certain things. They can't tell their parents, their partner. They can't, nothing.
They just can't talk about it. And I don't think this would have been the case for June Crane, who was I know, I mean, it was the case, but like, I don't think it was that level back then yet. Like, I think, you know, in these early stages, it was just top secret clearance. I don't know if there was these crazy security clearances we hear about now, like these Q level security clearances.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there wasn't that. I agree with you, but I got to pee again. But they were still under the understanding that you're not saying shit, plain and simple.
Hey, what's up, Emily?
In your head, you got security and you're cleared, and you keep your damn mouth shut. That's all there is to it. And it's a big burden because there's times that you'd like to talk about your job, but you can't.
Can you elaborate beyond?
Sorry, I had to pause it there. I could never have this job because I would not be able to keep my mouth shut. I would have to tell somebody. I can't just live with that shit and be quiet. I would have to tell somebody.
On what is on this audio excerpt?
Yes, because we also discussed this when we did not have the recording on. And she clarified that Master Sergeant Clarence, he started describing what happened, and initially everyone at the table was horrified, thinking that there had been a crash of a military aircraft, and everyone was sad and upset, thinking that perhaps somebody they knew had died in this crash. And then he clarified that no, the people who were killed were not human, and that this wasn't a crash of an airplane.
And that's where she heard him describe the little green men who were greenish blue?
Yes. There was something that happened later on that day that kind of adds weight to this entire conversation. That was the fact that June recalled that there was what she referred to as a too hot memo that came out later that day. And this meant that there was a courier from the commanding officer who went to every single person who worked there, and you were required to stop what you were doing, read the memorandum, and sign off on it, stating that you understood it and that you would comply. And it was telling everyone that some irresponsible person has been discussing little green men and crash saucers, and that you will cease and desist immediately upon penalty of being discharged and possibly being prosecuted. And the two things that bothered June about this, one was if there was no truth to what this Master Sergeant had told everyone, then why would they even bother with this elaborate procedure? And secondly, she wanted to know how the commanding officer knew about this so quickly, because she said it wasn't that long after she had the conversation with this Master Sergeant.
It suggests that the coffee room where they were talking was probably bugged. And it also implies that even within Wright Field and people with Q clearances, they would threaten anybody, since they all had clearances together, they would threaten anybody who even talked to each other about.
Yeah, this guy, he is the biggest idiot of all time. You got chose to fly in aliens. Got chose to fly in aliens, and you were just like, oh fuck, guys. You're just sipping on coffee, like, what? Listen to this shit.
Well, you'll never believe this shit.
You'll never believe this shit. And then 3 hours later, a memorandum comes back, and they're just like, hey, so they just treat everybody like they're stupid. Hey, some idiots walking around here talking about little green men and flying saucers. Don't ever talk about that again, or we're going to prosecute you. Like, that's fucking crazy, dude. Nothing. You could speak to this. Nothing happens that fast in the military.
No.
No. Let's keep watching a little bit.
About non-humans.
Exactly. So in other words, they did not view this as simple office gossip.
And the very fact that they would try to strong-arm their own insiders who had similar Q clearances, including the Master Sergeant and June and the others, and do it in such a way that they were saying there was no truth to this when they all knew that it was, shows that there was kind of this 1984 newspeak going on within Wright Field among the very people who had to have access to this information to do their work.
Absolutely. It reflects a consistent policy of denial, of suppressing discussion or inquiry, and that is also furthered by the other major revelation. She talked about the scientists and engineers who came back from New Mexico, where they had experimented with the V-2 rocket and later with the Aerobee rocket. They saw UFOs routinely while they were doing their work.
This was a cover-up. When this report in newspapers said, how could such a conspiracy exist? That's how it existed. Because it was right at the very start of it. Project Blue Book was not formed to investigate those things. It was formed to stop the people from thinking that's what it was.
And somebody else was actually investigating.
Right. They were being investigated by the Project Blue Book officers. Yes. That's what Project Blue Book was all about. It was to try to squelch all talk of UFOs.
Yeah, so Blue Book was just made to cover shit up, to say everything's swamp gas or misidentification.
If I remember right, you mentioned that people in this group went to White Sands to do testing and then came back.
Yes.
And did they say that anything unusual had happened to them?
Well, they said they were just as thick as fleas up there. They'd sit at night, they'd sit on the outside of their motels where they would stand or the buildings, and they would just watch them go over all types and shapes. There'd be motherships, big ones with little ones coming out of it, and then they'd see them return, and they had different colored lights. Some had orange, sometimes red, yellow, different lights they would see. And then what they would do, if the people, the engineers and scientists would report it that they saw them, they locked them up in a motel for 24 hours with no access to no radios, no people, no nothing. And
yeah, here you are. You're like, hey, there's something weird in the fucking sky. And they say, you are going to stay in this motel for 24 hours. Because clearly, dude, it's just gaslighting. It's like this book we're going to start reading in the book club. They're just going to gaslight, like, listen, clearly you got something going on in your brain.
Something, let's make this known here now, folks, for everyone who tunes in. We have a master gaslighter here that talks to us every time we're here. His name is Jay. So
I'm not a gaslighter.
You are the master.
You're a fucking gaslighter, you piece of shit. You are the gaslighter.
Yeah.
You want me
whatever.
to describe how you're the gaslighter? That's a joke.
Yeah. But anyways.
Let's keep watching.
They'd bring the meals into them, but have no contact with anybody, and they had them to write up what they saw, and then when they come out the following day, 24 hours later, they'd have them write it up again. And like the engineer said, to hell with it, I'm not going to report anymore. I'm not going to be locked up.
It's that easy.
Yes,
this accomplished two purposes.
Yes, I want to go out with the boys and drink. I'm not talking about this shit anymore. It's that easy. Let's take a deep. We're just
in the
messing
membrane.
We're just messing with each other.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't. If you saw the two of us together, it's much worse.
Yeah, I don't actually gaslight.
He does, but it's
one
okay.
of them was obviously.
No, I don't.
They got at least two different accountings of whatever it was that was observed. And then they basically discouraged these scientists and engineers from discussing it further or reporting anything else in the future.
She talked with you about a subject that many of us have heard bits and fragments about, and that is metal that was found in the Roswell debris field.
Well,
no,
this is
Gen
perhaps
X. He attacks me when I'm
fascinating
sleeping.
Story because here we're going from being an indirect witness to being.
That's true. I do that. Yeah, I drink. Shelly said, Jay, you don't drink? Yeah,
you don't ever see him sipping on girly drinks in here, beatboxes? Oh,
I drink energy drinks.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, sorry. He's straight edge. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm straight edge, dude. Like CM Punk, straight edge. Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's keep going. Everybody be silent and enjoy this video.
Sorry.
A direct witness because she said that she actually got to handle the metal.
Someone actually showed you a piece of something.
Yeah.
Was this during the same period of time?
Yes, 51, 52.
You know, who showed it to you?
Okay, it was Lieutenant Rose.
It was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Or Captain Wheeler. Now, it could have been one or the other of those guys because they were both in personnel. He walked in and he threw it on my desk. It was a piece, well, It was a piece that's about this big, and it was
About half of, about the size of a business card?
Yeah, about that size, and it was bent like this. And he says, June, you're a good wrecker. Tear that thing apart. Break that up. And I took it and I bent it and I twisted it, laid it back down, and it got right back the same shape. I got my desk. He says, cut it, try cutting it. I got on my desk, I got my scissors out and I snipped at it, and there was no way I could even cut that piece of metal. And it was as light as a feather. I had it in my hand. I would say that it didn't weigh as much as these two cards. It wasn't that heavy. It was so light, but strong, and it was the thickness would be about that thick. And so strong, it was sort of a grayish gunmetal type of color. And you could see that on the inside, there was a coating on the outside. Both sides of it was the same. And the inside seemed to have a sort of a light lead colored center.
What were the edges of this like? Were they even, or was it like part of something else?
It was even. It was all even. And I said, what is it? He said, it's a piece of a spaceship. I said, well, what is it? And he says, piece of a spaceship. I said, I just come back from New Mexico, and I promised him. See, he had no business having it in the first place. So
he was breaking security.
Yes, he was. Definitely.
Dude, like, there's no security in this place. They're sending out memorandums. Meanwhile, the security guy's just taking pieces of this fucking spaceship and trying to rizz up this fucking June Crane label. Like, check this shit out. It's a piece of a spaceship.
And I love how you can hear the age. Like, my having, not anymore, but having my grandparents, and the talk is just like, it was a different time.
Shelly said this would be way more interesting with Four Loko. I like Four Loko. Mad Dog 2020's come back out too.
No, the original Four Loko. We would make Jay drink 6 of those and then see what happens.
You're not making me do that. Anyways, let's finish watching this. I don't think she mentioned it yet, but she does mention, maybe she has. Tell me if I'm wrong, but she mentions crumpling it up and it basically springing back to shape.
It's a spring. I mean, that's properties of a lot of metals, but yeah.
Obviously, in 40 years, and even in my lifetime being 45, I've seen improvements and changes in materials and plastic and metal. And have you ever, is it like anything you've seen since?
I always look at metal things, and I still have that curiosity because it still bothers me. And I have yet to see anything that would have those properties and look like that. And so light.
And in context, the situation was, I believe, that she was a young woman working in an office, and as has happened before in the history of the world, I think that a male was trying to impress a female, and he said too much and did too much, which is that he walked.
Yep, thus is the story of the world.
Yeah,
walked up to June kind of flirting and flippant, and pulled a piece of this metal out of his pocket and then asked her to tear it up, asked her to try and destroy it or have some effect on it. And no matter what she did, she couldn't dent it, she couldn't tear it, she couldn't cut it or anything else. And yet, as she described very well, that when you folded it up, it would return to its original shape, and it didn't look like anything had happened to it. And when she asked the officer, what is it? His response was, it's a piece of a spaceship. Now, she told me.
Yeah, dude. What metal can do that? I don't know fucking any metal that is just crumbling it up and springing back to its shape.
Like, I mean, we know spring and how they do springs, but like to that level of like crumpling it up like a piece of paper, and then it goes ding.
Yeah, it was like a sticky note, is what she said. And women drivers need their cars made of that. Yes, that's correct. Gen X, I don't know if you were here the whole time, but you missed an interview with Sasquatch actually at the beginning of the episode. He was here for like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, you missed it. Samuel, he'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah. Memory foam.
Are you saying memory foam could be made by aliens or could be alien technology? I never thought of that. I do think there is a conspiracy behind what's the main mattress store?
Mattress King?
Is it Mattress King? Anyways, whichever one it was. I remember when I lived in Colorado and there was 3 of those within a 2-mile radius. If you go in there, there's never anybody in there. They're completely empty all the time.
They're front.
Too expensive.
They're a front.
They're 100% fronts. If you ever go in one, you can't afford anything in there because the mattresses are $6,000. Clearly, there's some type of money laundering. I have no way of proving this, but I'm pretty sure Mattress King is likely a front for UFO technology. I have no way of proving that, but they're not making money and nobody ever shops there. But yet there's 3 of them every 2 miles.
They're everywhere. It's mattress. It's one of them. I know what you're talking about. It's one of them, and they're fucking everywhere. And you never see someone parked in the parking lot. I have gone into one, and I've looked at the prices and said,
"Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous."
No, thank you. And then I go down to the warehouse down the road that sells something that's just as comfortable. Maybe not with the same name. Yep, give it to me. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
for a quarter of the price.
Yeah, I remember Sam Tripoli. He said that several years ago. He was like, "There's something going on with these mattress places." And when he said that, I was like, "Fuck, he's on to something." Like, they don't. We've said they don't make money. It's too expensive. Nobody shops there. Gen X. Yep.
Yeah, bed in a box. Oh yeah.
Yep. You missed it. Yeah, no. At the beginning, we were talking about the Ohio Frogman. It's a cryptid a lot of people don't know about. It was in Loveland around the time that the crash from Roswell was brought to Wright Pat, and Sasquatch
Olivia,
was actually talking us through it. What's up, Olivia?
Don't call him. He has a name. His name is Samuel. Okay.
Yes, Samuel. I apologize.
You'd be offended. Don't trust me. I dealt with him. He'd be offended if you.
Well, he's a testy guy. He's a testy guy.
Yeah.
Or they're doing the same shit as Wayfair. Yeah, the Wayfair is another fucking crazy thing. We should do an episode on that because people forget how
that's a good
crazy.
idea. Yeah.
People, no, I was not here. That was Samuel. Thank you very much.
Oh no, Sammy said you have a pet name for him, and we found out you're a lot like Ty. You're a lot like Ty, Jay.
Nothing. I don't even want that guy around here. I'm fully aboard cryptid segregation. I want no part of him. He is a ginger. Maybe he's Irish. We didn't ask.
Do you see Jay's beard right now? He's talking about gingers. Anyways, we're at 2 hours. What else do you got? Let's get through what you want to.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's wrap it up, guys. He's getting tired. Let's wrap it up.
Oh, stop it.
You're rushing me. You're rushing me.
I'm not rushing you. I like this, and I think we need to continue this and continue it. Like we talked about, we had our sidebars, which were good, and we had our things to add on to everything, but I think we should continue down, and this should be a thing where we concentrate on one cryptid. Bigfoot. It was Frogman tonight. Bigfoot, the Wendigo, Loch Ness, if you're into that weird shit, whatever. And we should, because we do have plenty of sidebars on these conversations, and especially if we prepare for it. You guys always prepare. Quex, you're always has the world at his fingertips, but diving into something specifically. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, if you guys want a good book on cryptids, this is by Linda Godfrey. She's written a lot of stuff. It's called Monsters Among Us. She goes into like the Blair Witch, or not the Blair Witch, I'm sorry, the Beast of Brer Road, which was a werewolf, and then some of the odd stuff surrounding that. Whole bunch of stuff. Great book. I read it several years ago, probably pushing 10 years ago, but very, very good book. There's the cover. You guys are interested in that. I think
hold it up again. You said there's the cover and took it off in 2 seconds, dude. Okay, there you go. Linda Godfrey, Monsters Among Us. Thank you, Jay. Sorry.
I think the next cryptid we'll cover will be the Colorado mountain boulder.
Get the fuck out! Really stop being a dickhead. Get it off the damn screen.
And I don't know. That's just the one. That's the one I would like to cover. But we can't do this cryptid shit all the time because I like to.
No. Of course not. Yeah, no. You know, we got to talk about not America. You know, it's very important that we talk about other places that have nothing to do with America and the policy and everything else. It's you know, it's that's very important. You're right, Gen X. Yeah. You're right, Gen X. You're such a dick, dude.
I'm going to hold it up.
We're
the
not
rest
talking
of the
about you. We were just saying some people's kids. But yes, I think that ends tonight. This was fun. Like we said, we want to go into it. Someone said they don't believe Mothman, so we need to do a Mothman episode. That'll be a full episode. And I should just keep this going so he has to hold this up the whole fucking time. That would be great for me, but no.
I'll hold it the whole fucking time.
But again, we have the Discord.
Kinsley, you weren't here.
See, look at him. He's already testy because he has to hold up a book. You guys are in the Discord, a lot of you. Put some things in there. I know we've gotten it before. It won't be right away, but what cryptid you want us to go dive into, and I think we'll start looking into it. And as always, thank you guys. Love you guys.
And should we talk about Wayfair Friday?
Ooh, we can do that. Yeah, let's do that.
It'll be up, Gen X. You'll just have to click on it afterwards. Just go to the live section in the channel.
Yeah, but I'm down. Let's do that. Let's go into that conspiracy, and we'll get in our sidebars.
Okay, just so you guys know, when he said let's do that, he means I'll have to do all the research, and he'll just show.
Oh, here we go. And I'll do all the promotion. It's fine.
Yeah, the promotion. Yeah.
Later, guys.
Bye.